So I've devised this, it's a giveaway, I'm not selling anything here today, but it's my 30-day challenge. Yeah? Now, the reason why it's a 30-day challenge is because neuroscience, which this is where I'm a little bit geeky, I've been studying this for over 25 years, human behaviour, psychology, quantum physics and neuroscience and all that kind of stuff, and how we operate as humans. So there are some incredible techniques which can help you create change and identify certain behaviours and patterns that you've got in your life that aren't working and replace them with ones that will. Sound good? So the reason why it's 30 days is that there was a very interesting experiment NASA did, right? And they were wanting to find out how long-term exposure to weightlessness would affect the human mind. Now, they were looking at the space program and the International Space Station and everything like that. So what they did is they got these astronauts to put on these goggles which had prism lenses in, which basically flipped the image upside down. So if I had them on now, all you'd be sat on the roof, right, dangling off it. Now, they had to wear them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They had to eat in them, sleep in them, shower in them, everything, right? They weren't allowed to take them off at all. What they were looking for is, would it cause them to be irritable? Rewind on that one. Would it cause them to get sleepless? Would they be able to function properly? Would they lose their appetite? All these kind of things they weren't sure, because it's disorientation. Because orientation for us is gravity. I go like that, it falls to the floor. We know that is down. Every single person on the planet has a very different vertical, because we're all in a sphere. So we're all got slightly different up and down to everybody else. But in space, well, there is no up or down. There is no gravity. You're in constant free fall. So if you're in a space station like this, somebody at the other end could be like this, yeah? Or upside down or whatever. So we have a thing called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you can't compute what you're seeing, what you're hearing. You reject it. And it's a bit like some people suffer it from driving. When they're reading, you get all dizzy and sick and tired. It's because your body's going, we're moving! What are you doing? That's still! I don't understand it! Your body freaks out, it goes into fight or flight, that dumps adrenaline, and that adrenaline thinks, right, if I'm going to be eaten now, because that's the mechanism that we're flicking here, if I'm going to be eaten, what's the point in digesting my food? In fact, I've just eaten it, I want to get it out so I can fight or run. That's why you feel sick. Yeah? So we're fighting thousands and thousands of year-old emotional response patterns in a modern day when it's not fit for purpose. So we've got to train it. We've got to recalibrate it to actually do what we want it to do rather than what the hell it wants to do itself. Yeah? Follow me so far? So what actually happened was something they never even expected. Between day 25 and day 30, the astronauts woke up and everything was back to normal. Their brains had actually rewired themselves to function more effectively in that environment. It's called neuroplasticity. And the old adage about you can't teach an old dog new tricks is complete bunkum. Because neuroplasticity extends to whatever age. Yeah? No matter what the age of the person, that worked. Your brain rewired. So what they did is they did the experiment again, and then they did a control group. So they said, right, this group here, on day 15, will take the goggles off for 24 hours. Yeah? One group kept them on. The group that kept them on, day 25 to day 30, bing, 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 all flipped back to normal. The group that took them off for 24 hours, and 24 hours alone, it took another 25 to 30 days to flip it. So, if you take your goggles off, you reset yourself back to the beginning within that first 30 days. Yeah? It's habits. What it does is it causes a thing called structural tension. This is where the neurons fire and they create a new pattern of firing, which is this new behavior you're embedding. Yeah? And every time you do it, it lays what they call a myelin sheath along the, the neural pathways. right? So it basically strengthens it. So this is why martial artists practice the same move over and over again. Its muscle memory becomes innate, it becomes a reactionary behaviour. So they don't have to think about using it, they just use it as part of themselves. Like a lot of things. If I went to you and went, like that, you didn't even blink, right? We got that on video as well. Normally, normal people, not robots, blink.
Or martial artists.
Martial artists, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, they go sideways. So we have these reactionary behaviours. And we develop them predominantly through our childhood. Between the age of 2 and 7 years old, we're in a state, what we call Theta brainwave state. Theta brainwave state is we switch off our rational mind. We don't have enough information at that age to make decisions and rationalise our environment. So what we do is we look at what's happening, we see what emotions are about what's happening, and then we link the two together. So we see his mum going, like this, with a little thing scurrying across the floor with little 8 legs and things like that. And we think, right, when I see one of those, I'm going to feel like that. They must be scary.